YouTube. Got the truck back. It was $200 cheaper than what they quoted me at, so that was good. Um, got it, took it down the road. Um, went through the gears. It's responding the way it should respond now. So hopefully, um, that cleared up the issue. So yeah. It's Thursday. Um, I figured I said, well, I wasn't gonna go in today, and I don't even know if I'm gonna go in tomorrow. Honestly, I don't know. Might just want to go pick up something and turn around and come right back to the house and just get it dropped off on Monday, or whatever the situation is. I'm somewhat superstitious because the last couple of times I've started like in the middle of like the end of the week, it's been like hectic. So I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to bother with it. So whereas I saved $200, I had to essentially spend that same money again because I finally got all of my stuff. For anyone that does LegalZoom or whatever the situation is, they send you, one of these things with um, your folder, your certificates for people that are part of your, membership and stuff. So I want to try to do things, just the legit way. I mean, you spend the money. It's a business expense at the end of the day. You write it off. So that's the way I look at it. I want to, just try to do um, legit business as far as making sure everything is on the up and up. So, because the way I look at it, which I'm sure somebody can attest to this and may actually have a little bit more information about it than I do. So when I bought my truck, I went to a place in Knoxville called J&S Truck Sales. And for those who ever been through Knoxville, it's on, is it on 40? Or is it right when you get on 75? I think it's on 40. Yeah, it's on 40. If you're going 40 east, it's going to be to the left on the hill. And obviously, if you're going 40 west, it's going to be to the right on the hill. So I went up there and I had my mind set on getting a Peterbilt. And so what I did was, like I said, I got the personal loan to cover, which I probably could have requested. I probably could have requested a little bit more, honestly, because my personal credit score at the time prior to this was almost at 800. So, but now um, with that personal loan as well as other things, it's dragged it down. But I just look at it, hey, it's the cost of doing business, and one of the people that I look up to, one of the statements that he made that was so profound to me was that what's the use of having a good credit score if you're not going to use it? Are you going to wear it around your chest like a badge of honor? Like, hey, I have a 790, I have a 805. Like, use it for something aside from consumer stuff. Use it to position yourself to have some equity and stuff like that, like, for a house or a business and stuff like that. So that's what I used it for. But getting back to the truck, I didn't have the money. I didn't have all of the money out to get a Peterbilt, obviously. Which, like I said, I probably could if I got a little bit more, and probably I could have said, "Hey, look, I got this cash right now. You know, what's up?" I probably could have got one, but I was able to get. Looking at it now, I think I made the smarter investment by getting the Freightliner Classic because um, Freightlines are a little bit cheaper to work on. Anybody can work on a Freightliner. At least this is what the information I got from, driving school or whatever like that. But he said that, I should get an LLC. And I was saying, well, I'm gonna get one later. I thought it was kind of like a car, like you could just go buy a truck without going through all those hurdles and stuff. Which I did get the truck without going through all the hurdles, but at the same token, had I not been able to be in a position to do that, I don't really know if I could have actually purchased the truck, right? If it wasn't one of those situations where you may go through like one of those, like, what is it, Lone Mountain, Quality, those particular type of places like that, or just buying it outright like I did. Because, like I said, I had two friends. One of my friends, he paid cash for his truck. He got a truck and a trailer. And my other friend that bought a truck, um, that's how he got it, but he bought it off of a guy, right? But like I said, I went to a lot to get it. So, and both of my friends, they bought it from individual sellers. So obviously our experiences weren't, any different. And I look at them as some with the roadmap that I try to follow as much as I can. So, um, so now I got the LLC started, right? I got it started. Um, I got back the licenses and stuff like that I'm supposed to get, but I think under the lease agreement that the majority of those licenses, except for the license that I need to have a business at home, I think that I've already paid for those. So I actually need to call. I don't know what I did with my lease agreement, honestly. I don't really know what I did with it. I think it may still be in the truck or it's somewhere here at the house, but I need to look at it. But I think all that stuff is pretty much covered. I know I had to get another tag because I got a temporary tag and I had like a temporary IFTA sticker because when I got all of this stuff, when I bought the truck, ignorantly, I didn't go register the truck with Mississippi. So when I went to go lease on, I had the title, but technically the truck wasn't registered in the state that I was living in. So they had to register the truck in Arkansas. So I have an Arkansas plate and all that good stuff like that. And they've renewed the tag already. So the tag is still gonna be Arkansas tag. So go figure. So that'll be something I have to figure out before then. But so I called because I'm using 1-800 Accountant for the bookkeeping. And so I was already utilizing them for my books that I write. And that's not just I'm not writing and publishing like that. I mean, like I said, I have my second book. I'm gonna release it in December. So that'll be for them to do. But as far as now with the trucking and everything like that now, so it's gonna be more constant. So I'm about to be on the phone a lot more with the accountant because I don't want the first year to go up in smoke, right? With taxes and stuff because I have to tell her like, hey, I borrowed this amount of money to purchase this. I have the title for this, this. I have, and the good thing about 1-800 Accountant, once you have a card synced to it, every purchase that you have, it comes up. So all you have to do is categorize it, right? So some of the purchases that I make, obviously, they aren't truck or business related. So I just throw them out to the side and I look at that and say, okay, well, that's money that I kept, for myself, for money I transfer over for bills and all that. And last night, I did something that I should have been done, me and my wife. We actually wrote out a budget, right? And I'm one of those type of people, man, where it's like I hear people say stuff and I'll be like, well, I can keep it with my head, I don't have to write it down. But it was like writing it down, it just put everything in a perspective. And not just writing it down, but I wrote it down and I taped it to the wall. So we got every single dollar that we bring in, right? Every single expense we have, I included the business expense because that's money that that comes out. So it's all money that comes in and everything. And so now it looks good. And I said, well, hey, we'll have a surplus of this amount left over because it seems like we're not managing it right, and she's a little bit better with she's a lot better with money than I am, honestly. I'm trying hard to get in that phase, but I try to get everything paid. But anyway, so I was thinking, well, like, hey, well, maybe I could fall right back up underneath the service that I already got. Maybe it wouldn't be anything extra to manage that. But that wasn't the case. It was an additional fee of like $400. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Why? Why? But like I said, I mean, I'm not, I'd rather for the all be underneath one roof. And like I said, it's a business expense. And so, what can you do? You know, I have two different things, and like I said, I want to be as hands off as possible, and I have to pay people for, I'm paying people for the time, and I feel like for the service that they provide, obviously, I don't feel like that I'm paying like a whole lot compared to what I feel like people that have multiple trucks and all that and having to cover payroll and all that stuff like that. I don't think I'm paying anywhere near what they probably have to pay. But at the end of the day, I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses, I know what it is I want to deal with, I know what it is I don't want to deal with. So that's one of the type of things I don't want to deal with. So I just have to bite the bullet and pay. But like I said, I'm gonna log back into the app, in a few minutes, and then I'm gonna make sure that I get everything divvied out because, like I said, my next book is coming out in December, so I want to make sure that everything is divvied up. But the good thing about the businesses, even though they're different, a lot of the same things can apply. Like for business, for books, obviously pens, pencils, notebooks, staplers, computer, stuff like that. All the same stuff can categorize for trucking because I can, use that for roughly the same amount of things. So I think they're good, crossover. So I actually told my wife, man, I don't really know how it is, but as far as from a debt perspective, um, I and I think I think I'll be claiming a loss this year. I actually think I will. Looking at the amount of money that I made so far, and I started working April, so I'm looking at like if I had an additional 4 months in this, then I'll probably be, you know, what's four? 4 is 20. So I would probably be at probably 90 something right now. Which technically I started in April, it's just October. So really you would have to add 6 more months to it, right? So I'll probably be knocking on um 100, something like that. So hopefully next year, um, everything kind of be ironed out, right? And a bunch of little things like that. But yeah, man, it's just it costs, man. It really does. It really gets me to see why some people just will just slap something on the side of a truck or a business or something and say, hey, I'm a business. But like I said, I want to try to do things. I want to do things, kind of, by the book. I don't want any stuff creeping up behind me later on, like, hey, you did this, you did that, But it, like I said, it costs a little bit, right? So anybody that's thinking about that, it costs. But another reason why I want to get the LLC is, like I said, I want to be able to access, you know, some business credit, right? I I've been looking at that. So I feel like that'll be a big relief because, like I said, right now I had the credit score that I could load up a ton on top of it, right? So I have like a mortgage, a truck, and cards from business expenses and all this stuff. So I'm able to load like all of that up on there, and I feel like probably if my score was probably at the beginning of this, if it had been like just 100 points less than that, I wouldn't. So that's one of the things I want to do. I tried to get a business card with American Express, and they didn't give it to me. And the reason they didn't give it to me is because they were talking about because of my personal credit score. So I might need to talk to somebody about that because what they ended up doing was they actually lowered my credit limit on my card. And so what I was doing, I was like, well, I have some big credit limits. And so I was like, my thinking was like, when guys say, hey, well, you need maybe 10, 15, maybe 10, $20,000 in reserve for maintenance. And I was like, well, I got 2 cars, man, and that's 30 right there. Because the way I look at it, whether you pay it with cash or if you pay it with a card, you got to replace it. So my thing is like, okay, well, even though on the card, due to the interest rate, you're going to pay a little bit more, but at the same time, you still got to pay it back, you know. So that's kind of where I took it. So like my American Express, what they ended up doing was like, they like lowered my stuff like $3,000, and they didn't call me. I mean, they didn't. Nobody told me anything. I just went to swipe, get something. They was like, nah, they didn't work. So I ended up calling. I was like, hey man, what's going on? It was like, yeah, we do that for the protection. And I'm like, man, I just started a business, man. It's like, I'm just now starting to see some cash flow where I can, put it back over there. And he was like, well, I could transfer you over and you could, kind of tell the people and maybe they could, up the limit. And I was like, man, and I ain't even worried about it. Because like what they did was like, they like bumped it up like quick. Cause I think that card may have started off with like 5,000 and within like a year, they already gave me additional $10,000. So I was like, boom, I'm set. I got 30K on the side for, breakdowns or whatever like that. And then they was like, nah, we're gonna take 3 away from you. We're gonna take 3. So I was like, well, let me try to get a business card then, Like, nah. But I think like those type of places or something like that, they probably want to deal with like someone that's been in business for like a longer period of time. So, but I might end up calling them back because, like I said, I don't have anything to do for the rest of the day. So I might end up calling them back and see if they can give me my 3,000 back. I might try to get see if they give me 5, because that'll help my credit utilization a lot, like a lot. And so, yeah, that should help me a little bit, right? I bought some bungees, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. I'm just rambling on. I bought some bungees. And I messed up. You can't see the full length of them. But these are like 15-inch. And I don't know how in the world I ended up getting 15-inch bungees. I needed 21. So I just ordered some old 21-inch bungees. And I said, well, I can still use these because the flatbed drive, you can never have too many bungees because they break. Some get brittle quicker than others. So you can never have too many bungees. And that's one of the issues that I have like over here in Mississippi where I'm at. Is like, it's not a lot of stores that service flatbed type of stuff. So like the place that I get the bungees from is like Lookout Mountain Tarps, and it's like in Coleman, Alabama. And Coleman is like 3.5 hours from here. But the good thing about ordering something and shipping it, they get the order And because of the distance, it could be here like the next day. So like I said, I ordered it today, and you know, it may either be here Friday or Saturday. So that's one thing that I like about it. But like I said, they sell tarps there and stuff like that. They customize tarps. They'll make you a tarp and stuff like that. And I was like, dang, I wish they had something like that in Mississippi close by, where I didn't have to do that. You know, I'd rather spend the money in my home state versus out of state. But it is what it is. But I let this video go on too long, man. If you don't take nothing else from this video, try to do it the legit way. And in the legit way, it's gonna cost you some money. That's all.